Well, the spirit of Antichrist has already been here for a long time. However, it's not been nearly as active as it is right now. I deserve to go to hell. But Jesus went to hell for me. So it's not that I don't deserve something. I definitely deserve something. I deserve to go to hell. Because there's nothing in me that's good. All my good works are filthy rags unto the Lord.
Everything else in life is put on hold. And that's what's happened to the family of 5-year-old Michael Vaughn. Tomorrow, he will have been missing for 3 weeks and still no clue to his fate.
Hey you, and welcome. My name is Mike. And in this little video, we have a pretty interesting mix of people in these stories I'm going to tell you. Like, there's enough crazy in this one to make you want to stand up and beg for buttermilk. In today's video, folks, there is absolutely no two ways about it. We're going to have a look at 4, look at me, TikTok accounts that each hold some pretty dark and horrifying secrets. We have a man documenting his love of trucking, his love of himself, and in fairness, he does have good hair, but also his love of revenge. Served cold? No. Piping hot. Or another who in the background of her video accidentally revealed what happened to a missing child. Dark, don't even come close, so look forward to that. But before we get into it, please subscribe to see new stories for the dark every single week. Now, let's give it a go. Folks, we always have a good time on that chapter, but let me talk to you for a moment about something very serious, and that is how much I love you, and how much I appreciate you being here, watching these old videos. Therefore, I want you, to take care of yourself. But it ain't easy. Ain't that just the way? We all have health issues. Recently, I just had one myself. Turns out in a couple of months I might need minor surgery. Yippee. And the process went a little something like this. I had a bad pain for about a week, but I was thinking, you know what, if it's still there tomorrow, I'll call the doctor. There were many tomorrows. Then on Thursday, I finally called up the doctor, and guess what? There were no appointments till Monday, and by then I'd already been in a world of hurt for about a week. And how many times have we all put off going to the doctor simply from fear of being judged? You want to start off this year with a blank slate, without having to worry about wait times, who will take your insurances, and getting issues sorted without weeks in between. And what if you're traveling? You know, you're seeing family, you're on vacation, and you need to see a doctor. Your own GP could be hundreds of miles away, but you need to see somebody now. With ZocDoc, this video's paid partner, they can put you in touch with a doctor that's right for you, no hassle at all. ZocDoc is a free website that helps you find and book high-quality in-network doctors so you can find somebody you love. We're talking about booking in-network appointments with more than 150,000 providers across all 50 states. Whether you're looking for dermatology, dentistry, primary care, eye care, or one of the other 200 plus specialities offered on ZocDoc, you can easily search by speciality or symptom to build the care team that's right for you. It looks like, for me personally, moving is a big possibility by the end of the year. And you know what moving's like? It already has 1 million stressors added to it. One thing I'd rather not have stress me out: where can I find a new GP? Who can renew my prescriptions for me? ZocDoc is here to help, and immediately with a big move, finding a new healthcare provider is not one of my stressors. And with ZocDoc, you want to see your doctor in person? Great. Prefer a video visit? You can do that too. Sometimes your regular doctor might be booked up weeks in advance, or you might have just moved to a new city and don't know any medical professionals yet. ZocDoc will hook you up. View thousands of verified patient reviews to give you a real sense of who your doctor is. Maybe they hate small talk just as much as you do, or root for your sports team. Whatever it is, you can feel confident that you can book with a doctor you know you will love. When you're ready, you can see their real-time availability and click to book instantly. No phone tag, no waiting around. Appointments made through ZocDoc happen fast, typically within just 24 to 72 hours of booking. You can even score same-day appointments. If you're in a situation like I just was, you want to go see a doctor without wait times, phone tag, be sure to check out ZocDoc. Oh, and did I mention that it's free? Because it is entirely free. So stop putting off those appointments and take care of yourself. Go to ZocDoc.com/thatchapter to find and instantly book a top-rated doctor today. Big thanks to ZocDoc for partnering with me on this whole video. Now let's get back to it. This first case, folks, it takes us to a place called Fruitland, Idaho. No, I'm not. And it's about, sort of, a woman named Sarah Wondra. And this is gonna blow your fucking mind. She is not any kind of Wondra.
I just want to put a message out there for all those women and men who are married right now, like me and my husband are, that are struggling with spiritual warfare. Or maybe you just feel like you're struggling with your marriage. the reason why you're struggling with your marriage is because Satan wants to destroy it. I had to take that into consideration when he was trying to destroy my marriage recently. And the reason why he wants to destroy it is because God instituted it. So, a lot of us believers who are knowing that Jesus is coming here soon have been telling you to stay steadfast in the Lord. What does that mean exactly? So this is my first video for a while. Sorry, oh, pimple. Anyway, it doesn't matter. God's really been having to teach me a lesson in humility lately. The time of grace is almost up. If not, basically an end. You only have a short time to turn your heart back to the God of heaven.
Sarah Wondra went by the TikTok username, Sarah Ann Wondra. And if you haven't guessed from the entire thing, she was pretty religious. She was also pretty troubled, as you can see. Bit odd. She's yammering away about how the time of grace is ending. The apocalypse, it's on the way. All that jazz. And she wasn't wrong. She just didn't know it was for her specifically.
Oh man, just please pray for me. Just help me by praying for me. Just lift me up to God the Father. Okay, I'm calmer now. Sorry. Sometimes when God gives me mercy and grace, it's just so overwhelming. I don't deserve it.
So she posted quite frequently about religious sort of things. Her singing.
Soon and very soon, we are gonna see the King.
Sorry about that. Pictures of her with her husband. At the time, a guy named Stacy. What the fuck is this shit? Now, Stacy Keach is the only fella who can pull that off, so change your name.
When did gum get so soft, you sons of bitches?
Hell yeah, Stacy rocks, or rocked. Is he still alive? But what's really bizarre about Sarah's posting is that over time, it gets even stranger. She believes she is speaking to God. They're yapping away. She claims to be under spiritual attack.
I need some serious prayer from my sisters and brothers in Christ. If you're not in Christ, you're not praying for me. I need some serious prayer. I'm under a lot of spiritual attack from the enemy and from within my own flesh. It's really hard right now.
She writes biblical scriptures about herself, and it seems like she wasn't taking very good care of herself at all. She was going through some mental issues, some severe ones, and things were not ideal in their home whatsoever. If you followed through her timeline, you can see the shift becoming quite severe late summer 2021, which is around the time in her hometown of Fruitland, Idaho, something tragic and quite terrifying happened, which we will get to. First, let me show you a video she posted on October 13th, 2021.
Have faith in Jesus. I know my hair looks so crazy right now. I apologize if it is a distraction. Because sometimes it distracts me, okay? But I just want you to know that Jesus has your back. 100% with your health. I mean, according to modern medicine, I should be somewhere laying in a bed in a coma right now.
If you look closely on the fridge behind Sarah, you can see a flyer stuck on with magnets. That flyer was about a missing boy, Michael Vaughn, who vanished over the summer of 2021.
Michael, who also goes by Monkey, was reported missing Tuesday night in Fruitland. While law enforcement continue to search for clues as to where he might be, support around the Treasure Valley is pouring into the community. Teams of people searching the town for hours today, all hoping to find Michael.
The city was split up into 4 zones for volunteers to search. Folks were door knocking, asking neighbors questions if they have seen anything strange in the past few days, all in hopes to get any answers to where Michael may be.
On Tuesday, June 27, 2021, 5-year-old Michael Monkey was his nickname, Vaughn. He disappeared from, the street right outside his home in Fruitland, Idaho. He was last seen that evening at around 6:30 p.m. on his big wheels right outside his home. He was going around to the neighbors, knocking on doors, asking other kids if they wanted to come out and play. But all their parents told him to, just go home for the evening. He was heading home, and then he just completely vanished. Now, the searches for Michael Monkey, they were about as big, I think, as you can probably imagine when a 5-year-old boy completely vanishes from the street right outside his house. Helicopters, drones, mountain rescue, the works, but as the subsequent days and weeks followed, there were no traces of him.
From the air and on the ground, crews from multiple agencies went door to door, talking to neighbors, searching yards and nearby fields, all in hopes of finding 5-year-old Michael Joseph Vaughn. Neighbors say they learned about the 5-year-old's disappearance around 7:30 on Tuesday night. They say Michael was a happy kid who lived in this neighborhood with his parents and grandfather.
And investigators, they would come to the theory that Michael, he had been abducted from the street. As police began their investigation, they would publicly name 4 suspects, each of which had been seen in the area, on the streets near Michael's home, around 6:30 p.m., 7:30 p.m., when he vanished. Adrian Lucien, Brandon Shurtleff, Stacy Wondra, and Sarah Wondra. They were all seen acting suspicious in the area, and later, a canine would follow Michael Vaughn's scent right to the Wondra home where the 4 of them lived together. And this was in a neighborhood, right adjacent to where Michael Vaughn fucking lived. They lived right around the corner from him. They were all seen in the area when he disappeared, and the dogs were going right to their door. But you have Sarah Wondra, a suspect in a presumed missing trafficked child is what the investigators believe, who was going through this severe mental breakdown in the months after Michael vanished. And not like she was in a great state before he vanished. The flyer for the missing boy was on their fridge. So they are seeing this boy, they are suspected of kidnapping every single day.
Every single person in this whole world has been forgiven. Every single one. Do you know what I deserve based off my own life and my own knowledge of that life? I deserve to go to hell. I deserve to rot there. But I'm not going to.
Before Michael vanished, she posted on TikTok, the odd time, talking about God and religion and singing and all of that. After Michael vanished, she posted on TikTok multiple times a day for 3 months.
So if you're a Christian believer and you're doing other things like Buddhist practices like yoga, etc., you need to knock it off.
All varieties of insanity, and her claiming she's done something horrible and asking for forgiveness. How about no?
Man, sorry. It just hit me so hard. I don't deserve half the stuff I've been given. Not even anything, really.
Later, Michael's big wheels would be found in an area already searched, and the 4 suspects would begin kicking each other out of the house. Police would be called to the house for allegations of abuse, and all their alibis for that day, when Michael Monkey vanished, would be proven false. Sarah would later be arrested for destruction of evidence. Her husband Stacy arrested when a firearm was found in the home. He was arrested for unlawful possession of a firearm. Sarah would later confess to a friend on the phone that Stacy was involved in whatever, wink wink, whatever happened to Michael Vaughn, but she would later recant that, saying, no, none of us had anything to do with that. I'm just a crazy person. They would also find that Sarah's own dog had been digging holes in her backyard, holes that cadaver dogs would later hit on. It was like Sarah's own dog was trying to dig up a body.
I need a little bit more direction about where Michael is at.
Go out the back door, or...
Okay.
I can't Can you turn the camera around so I can show you?
We're gonna flip it around right now. Stand by.
Right here.
There you go.
Okay, so I'm going out the kitchen door.
In November 2022, Stacy would confess that Michael had been abducted by them all, that Sarah had carried him in, that Michael was bound and placed in a duffel bag, crying, and then going silent. At some point, likely accidentally asphyxiating with the duct tape over his mouth as they transported him. They then buried him in their own backyard.
Okay, where do I need to go?
Okay, face to the right. Like right where the dirt piles are.
Right where the dirt piles are. About how far off of the fence?
Right.
Okay, go ahead. Okay, walk over there and you point us to where it needs to be.
Okay. Now keep going out a little further.
And what is he wrapped in?
He should be, it should be a garbage bag.
However, searches of that backyard would find absolutely nothing.
Like I said, that's where he was buried.
Okay.
That's the last place I had known. Again, haven't been home for quite a while, and trust me, I want him home. I want you guys. I want him to be found.
But it should be noted that Stacy was confessing all of this and telling the police about what had actually happened to Michael. Not like you can really believe him. He was telling all of this to the police while his wife, soon to be ex-wife, Sarah, was at the home. She probably moved the body by the time he told this to the police.
I mean, she's pretty scandalous like that. So.
Yes, Detective Keller said she threw you right under the bus.
No.
When they came through the door with the search warrant, nobody even asked her any questions. She just flat out said it.
She just flat out said Stacy did it all?
No, she said Stacy murdered him and buried him.
Oh my god, dude. That is the most... Wow, man. That's definitely not what I did. I didn't do any of that. It wouldn't surprise me if Sarah was scandalous and went and reburied him.
Stacy would later tell the police that it was all Adrian's idea to kidnap this young child as he was on the street and sell him for $10,000 to... who? Who knows, but that's some scary shit. Stacy Wundra, 33 years of age, has been charged with first-degree murder, second-degree kidnapping, and destruction of evidence. Sarah has not yet been charged with anything, nor have the two other suspects. Not in relation to this case anyway, but likely and hopefully they will all be facing something. A horrifying case of a missing child and his likely traffickers turned killers. And Michael's body still remains missing. Before Michael vanished, Sarah posted 11 videos to TikTok. After he vanished, she posted over 300 videos to TikTok in a 3-month period. It seems very clear that Michael's disappearance had a huge effect on her the old mental health, as it should. The next fellow I want to talk about is a guy who goes by because it's his name, Nakibullah Habibzoui. 23 years of age, and he was mad for the old TikToks. He posted videos of himself chilling. Okay. And trucks. He drove trucks for a living. Honestly, I have no idea what's going on in like all of his videos because I don't speak that language. But one thing I can tell, right, is that old Nakibullah, if there was something he loved more than TikTok and trucks possibly, it was himself.
I'll wait for you because I don't want anyone else. My heart belongs to you, and no one else can take your place.
Okay, maybe the only thing he loved more than himself were these absolutely banging tunes. Is the singer choking or what? Unfortunately, aura farming on TikTok ain't a get out of jail free card, and he's gonna have to learn that the hard way. Namely, because on June 3rd, 2025, Nakibullah posted this 16-second video, right on TikTok. It is simply a post claiming that he is being framed, oh my lord, for comments posted on the platform. The comments, you're wondering? That he's gonna kill somebody. Yeah, that'll probably do it. Now, not a huge amount is currently known or publicly available about Nakibullah Habibzoei, other than he is 23 years of age and possibly is from Khost, Afghanistan. He posted the Afghani flag a lot. What we do know is that he was living in Houston, Texas come 2025 and worked as a truck driver. And the authorities believe he got into a major dispute with a co-worker. A dispute that left another man, Awal Noor Kaftan, bleeding out with multiple gunshot wounds. On May 31st, 2025, police responded to reports of a shooting at a housing block in San Antonio, Texas. A friend was at home with this Awal Noor Kaftan. They'd been in the house, and then Kaftan got a call claiming to be from a woman that wanted to speak with him just outside the house. Kaftan went out, and the friend would say the next thing he heard was gunshots ring out. He ran outside and found his friend Kaftan bleeding out on the floor, then dialed 911. When the authorities arrived and the investigation began to who murdered him out on his front doorstep, the friend told police the name of the woman, the woman who was, who called Kaftan, who maybe lured him outside so he could be shot dead. And the woman was linked to our friend, Nakibullah Habibzoei. And the police were onto him. Especially as on his TikTok he posted of a dispute he was having with Kaftan. He believed Kaftan owed him $31,000 and would post comments like, "We never move on without taking our own revenge." Well, why didn't you say so? I mean, if you're posting comments like that, like, "I will kill you, LOL, I will have my revenge," and then he ends up dead. Maybe he didn't realize other people can see this shit. Believe me, sometimes I wish I couldn't. But Nakibullah, brainbox that he was, he later deleted those comments saying how he was gonna kill a man who later, ended up dead. And then posted this little TikTok saying, "Oh, I've been framed, I've been hacked. Oh, goddamn, somebody hacked me," and posted comments I'm gonna... This doesn't look good at all. I mean, in one of the now deleted posts, it was a picture of him with a handgun, possibly the murder weapon, just smiling at the camera with this rug in the background. And then I guess after, Kaftan ended up, murdered by who knows, he thought, well, it's probably not a good idea to have this picture up of me, with the murder weapon, so he deleted it. Then the very next day, he posted another picture with that same rug in the background. I guess he thought they would never put this together. He then posted this video. I'll do my best to sort of translate and tell you what's going on, because it's absolutely fascinating, but again it is him commenting on this guy who has been murdered, saying, "Listen, I know I had my beef with him, but it definitely wasn't me, and I hope they catch the fellow." He explains that he was friends with Kaftan, but Kaftan wronged him and stole $31,000 from him. For what? We don't know. Maybe some kind of scam, or just Nakibullah believed it to be a scam. In the video, though, he denies shooting anyone, saying that he was his friend, and asking people to share this video to spread word of his innocence. I mean, him saying he's innocent. Police later found evidence of Nakibullah traveling from Houston to San Antonio the day of the murder, from his home to Kaftan's, and they had a recording of him admitting to a friend he had finished him off.
Around 11 p.m. May 31st, police found 34-year-old Awal Noor Kaftan shot multiple times on a patio. Officers say language barriers made it tough to get answers that night. Online was a different story. Police found a trail of TikTok posts, including threats, photos of the victim, and messages about revenge over $31,000.
I don't care.
Police say 23-year-old Nakibullah Habibzoy, who once worked with the victim at a trucking company, drove from Houston to carry out the attack. According to court records, he later tried to claim his TikTok was hacked. But in a recorded call, investigators say Habibzoy admitted to the murder, even saying his heart was, quote, pleased and satisfied.
It was that trail of TikToks, which is a hell of a trail of him saying these things, I'm gonna kill you, and then deleting it. Ha, they'll never see that. That's exactly what led the police right to his ass, arresting him. He is in jail right now, charged with first-degree murder. So lesson learned here is it's probably a bad idea to post comments and videos about a person you're having an issue with who later ends up dead. And then to cover it all up, claiming, the old classic, I was hacked. I mean, maybe that works on the Taliban back home in Afghanistan for him. I don't think it works on San Antonio detectives, though. This next TikTok account takes us to South Korea to talk about a pretty big and growing, well, at the time, TikToker named Yoon Jia.
Get to kicking in, it's too late. I don't wanna thank you. I'm excited. Okay.
In late 2025, Jia was 24 years of age, with an audience of over 300,000 people, so pretty big. And she posted frequently of, well, this sort of thing. Being cute, dancing, eating. I mean, sure, it's more or less the same sort of thing that I do, really. She was a growing influencer, which is great, good for her, and she seemed to be a lot more down to earth and approachable than many do on the platform. She seemed very relatable. Things take a turn though, I mean, this entire story takes a turn when Jia was introduced, or he introduced himself to her. A man who's only ever been known as Mr. Choi. He's only ever been known that so far because in Korea, police tend to keep things pretty close to the chest. But this guy, pretty interesting, I think it's safe to say. Choi, it seems from Korean news outlet reports, was a well-known figure in the social network industry in South Korea. It seems like he had a prominent presence as like a super fan in the social media business, often spending thousands, like donating thousands of dollars to these content creators to get exclusive access. And well, he was a super fan. That's just the best way of putting it. Like, he would donate millions and millions of Korean won, which, like, he donated like 70,000 US dollars to Yoon Jia. Crazy amount of money. But, you know, that was giving him exclusive access. He was like fan number one, super fan. He was the bee's knees. But also at the same time, like, donating $70,000 to a content creator you don't even know. We're approaching mental illness levels. He operated, because he was a tier 1 operator of course, under the username Black Cat. Ooh, mysterious. And he was known as a big spender VIP among content creators. But he also introduced himself as the CEO of an IT company in Seoul, a man with connections. Not only was he spending ridiculous money on creators, but he could also hook them up with industry folk. And that's how he introduced himself to Yoon Jia. He donated a lot of money to her. He said he could open a lot of doors for her, get her the right connections with the networking, make her, you know, audience just like, her growth just explode. However, you can kind of see the problem with these sort of dynamics is because he was claiming to be this guy, he began to try and exert control over Jia, like real obsessive fan stuff. She's mine! You know, that kind of type shit. He began to give her instructions of what to do in her videos, which became more and more coercive. He began to try and set her schedule of when she posted, when she went live on the platform. Basically, he decided to take it upon himself to become her, like, manager and sort of like her boss in a weird way. And the last time Jia did go live was on September 11th, 2025. She posted that day. She was on Yeongjong Island, Incheon. And about 30 minutes after she posted, at about 3:30 p.m., she went dark. The next day, September 12th, she was reported missing by her family in the city of Yeongjin, where she lived. And so the police, they began racing to try and find her. When was the last time you heard from her? When was the last time her phone pinged? Working their way through that.
경기 용인 동부경찰서는
틱토커로 알려진 20대 여성 실종에 연루된 것으로 보이는 50대 남성 A씨를 실종 신고 접수
That eventually then led to the horrifying discovery of Jia's body inside a suitcase on the side of a mountain in Mujugan. Inside that suitcase, she had numerous bruises on her. She had been beaten and then strangled to death. Tracing who she had last been in contact with, it was Black Hat himself, Mr. Choi. CCTV was later found, and what appears to have happened is Jia wanted to end their partnership, and Choi did not take too kindly to that, for he saw her as his meal ticket. Because of course, was he the CEO of this big IT company? He was in his arse. Choi, in his 50s, was in reality, he was unemployed and he was in massive debt. The day he murdered Yoon Jia, his house had been sold at a forced auction. He was up shit creek. He claimed to be able to help her grow and increase her subscribers, when in reality he wanted her to grow so she could get sponsorships and ads and stuff like that, and then he would take a little slice for himself. He was spending all of this money trying to buy his way into these content creators' lives, spending all of this money that he did not have so he could try and become this like manager type guy, when in reality it seems like more he was attempting to exploit these people, and he was also just an obsessive superfan. He wanted to like be her agent, when weirdly enough Choi was actually out without detention awaiting trial for another crime. That other crime, beating the shit out of another TikToker. It had happened months before because he tried to do the same thing to her. Now he did it to Jia, only he didn't beat her up, he killed her. CCTV would show Jia and Choi meeting in the lobby of a building, and Choi begging her for something, probably begging her not to end the partnership. He grabbed her phone at one point, apologized, and then left. And it seems then, at some point, she got into his car and he would not let her leave. Next thing, she vanished. After she was killed, her body was placed into a suitcase, and while driving to find a dump site, he made 8 separate stops to mislead investigators. He didn't really do a great job of that though, because he was found and arrested about 150 to 250 feet from where her body was found. He never went far from her, like at all. So what's the point in doing the 8 other stops? Make that make sense? 12 hours after Jia's body was found, Choi was arrested, and when confronted by police with like all the evidence they had, all of the phone conversations, the CCTV, he confessed to murdering her and dumping her on the side of the mountain. Yoon Jia's family made one final post on her TikTok account celebrating her life. The story of Anna Kepner, much like, honestly, all the stories I've told in this whole video, it's an ongoing one, and it's full of the old twists and turns. Like, there's quite a lot of them, actually. And guess what? It's as tragic and disturbing as they come. Anna, in November 2025, was 18 years of age, from Titusville, Florida, a cheerleader, and someone who posted on TikTok quite frequently, showing off dances and travels and dresses, the whole kit and caboodle. Anna Kepner was born in 2007 to Heather and Christopher, but they split when she was very young, and her dad Christopher would remarry more than once, in fact. But as of 2025, he was married to a woman named Chantel. They married in late 2024, and Anna would live with her dad and her stepmom. She didn't see her real mom, Heather, all too often. Chantel, she also had children of her own from a previous relationship, who would become step-siblings to Anna Kepner. Now, Anna Kepner, she had plans to, like, once she graduated from high school just outside of Orlando, to go on and join the US Navy. She had, in fact, just passed the military entrance exam, so she was very excited, for a bright future. She was active on TikTok, and in late October 2025, she posted her final video. During this time, it seems like she was going through a breakup, and the thing to do when you were, get away, which is what Anna, her dad Christopher, her stepmom Chantel, her stepbrother Timothy, her biological brother Connor, her grandparents, and a few other siblings too, blended, whole family deal, they were all gonna do come early November 2025. So they're all going on this big old cruise ship. Anna, she would be sharing a cabin with her 16-year-old stepbrother Timothy and her 14-year-old biological brother Connor. The two boys, they had a bunk bed. Anna, she had her own bed. It was to be this 6-night Western Caribbean cruise, leaving Florida and going to these little islands in Mexico and then back. All over the course of like less than a week. It would be on the 4th night, though, that things would take a horrifying turn. One of those horrifying turns that keep happening. November 6th, the ship was off the coast of Mexico, and the day was fairly normal. Anna was even caught on another person's video dancing with the crowd. The family, they all had dinner together, but Anna left early saying she was feeling unwell. She went back to her cabin. Her 14-year-old brother and her 16-year-old stepbrother, they then went to the cabin a couple of hours, after Anna, following her there. And then her younger brother, Connor, the 14-year-old, he left with a camera, saying he wanted to go around and, take a few pictures of the cruise ship and the sights and just everything, leaving Anna alone with her stepbrother. What happened after that, we're unsure, but Anna's younger brother, Connor, he then returned after a couple of hours of taking pictures. He came into the cabin and he only saw Timothy. He didn't see Anna anywhere. But he presumed that she's just gone off, she's with the adults, she's somewhere on the ship. It's a big old cruise ship, she's somewhere having fun. Then the following morning came. Everybody met down for breakfast, as they had every day during this cruise. Everybody except Anna. In fact, they started to wonder, where is Anna? Then a search of the cruise ship began with announcements on the public address system. They all began racing around the cruise ship. Where is Anna? Nobody has seen her since the night before. It was then that, going back to the cabin wasn't empty. There was actually a maid in the cabin cleaning it after breakfast. And it was in fact the maid who made a discovery under Anna's bed.
And now at 7:06, the FBI is in South Florida this weekend investigating the death of a passenger aboard one of Carnival's cruise ships this week. Officials say a guest died aboard the Carnival Horizon that returned to Miami Saturday morning.
Anna's body was wrapped in blankets and life vests, stuffed under her own bed. She had been asphyxiated to death. There were no signs of sexual assault. The cruise ship ended the next day when it was actually supposed to end, coming back to Miami, and the investigation began. And in a story that was already weird as shit, it got even weirder. Anna just somehow is going missing, found under her own bed, asphyxiated, stuffed with blankets and life vests. Allegations immediately came out that she had been murdered by her stepbrother Timothy, the 16-year-old, who she had last been alone in the cabin with. Never on cameras. Cameras never showed her leaving that cabin. And if she did, how did she get back in? The rumor mill spun up like crazy. I mean, everybody thought, it has to be him. He's the only person it could be. He's the only person who was alone. And in fact, then stranger things about his mental state would start to become out. And in fact, they would actually be leaked via text message between Timothy, the suspect's mother, Chantel, and his biological father, Thomas Hudson. Chantel and Thomas were texting each other about him, saying he doesn't remember. It's like he blacked out that night. He doesn't remember a single thing. Nobody knows anything about him. He is a minor and has been kept completely out of it. We have not said anything to anybody, and we're going to try our best to keep it completely out. He is a minor, so his name shouldn't be anywhere. And when we talk to the FBI again, we will reiterate that we do not want his name out there. And everything that's been posted on TikTok and social media, nobody knows anything, and everybody's just speculating. They were saying things like, he needs his parents. He's not alone. We support him. This clear cover-up is not a cover-up, wink wink. Like on their leaked text messages, it was weirdly protective of the son who claims not to remember a single thing, and then his stepsister is found murdered underneath her own bed. I don't think you need to remember shit to figure out what happened here. And they're like weirdly protective of him, saying, oh, we gotta take care of him. We gotta support him. We're his parents. And not like the 18-year-old who was murdered. Allegedly, Timothy was obsessed with Anna, climbing into her bed one time while she was sleeping. Her ex-boyfriend would later tell news reports he had seen this. Apparently he carried a knife around with him, and Anna was pretty scared of her stepbrother, actually. Turns out she had good as shit reason to be scared of him. he sounds like a head case. Why she was even placed in the same room as him is another story. Allegedly, Anna, Timothy, and Connor, they voluntarily were staying in this room together, which is weird if Anna was scared of him, why she would voluntarily be placed in a room with him. That seems like a lot of weird shit was going on inside this family.
Hi, this is Heather. Many of you know me. I'm Anna Kepner's mom, the 18-year-old that died on the cruise ship Horizon. Let me breathe. Let me try to wrap my head around my daughter's death.
Anna's biological mom, Heather, who she hadn't seen in quite a long time, would post on TikTok as Lil Hot Mess. Oh boy. And she had her own statements to make.
Hey y'all, just mom here. Just wanted to let you know I don't have any new updates on Anna's case. They don't tell me anything. The FBI still hasn't even contacted me yet on any of it. And as soon as I know more, you will know more. I know Anna is up there looking down on me and the rest of everybody she cared about and loved, and she knows the truth, the whole truth.
Though interestingly, as this case is, as you probably figured out yourself, just one horrifying shit show, one of the last posts Anna made to TikTok was about how her mom sucked ass. I have sat here and heard and watched my mom ruin her life and try to ruin mine. She has done nothing for me in life but try to make mine like hers, aka shite. She has not tried to fight for me, she has not tried to actually have a conversation with me. All she cares about is herself and drugs.
Newsflash, honey. I'd rather be the bitch that's talked about than the miserable bitch doing the talking.
And why are you so sarcastic all the time? Because murder charges are expensive.
You know what just absolutely drives me up a fucking wall? Okay.
So her mom is making TikToks like this about haters or whatever after her daughter's murder. Bit odd to be making these kind of Yas Queen style TikToks after such a horrifying murder. But hey, sometimes the haters are right. But it seems like everybody in this story sucked. Her mom, her stepmom, who's trying to cover it up, her own dad, Chris, who allegedly is a sex offender. Everyone let Anna down. It was noted from the start that Timothy was a suspect in the case, but allegedly authorities were waiting for psychological examinations to be done before moving forward. It wasn't until early February that he appeared in federal court in South Florida. However, because he is 16 years of age, it has not been released why, or if he's even been charged. Juvenile cases are closed to the public. After appearing in court, though, he was allowed to leave into the care of his biological father, Thomas Hudson. It wouldn't be officially announced until late February that he has been charged with murder. What the shit happened in that cabin? What was her family? Anna Kepner's family, it seems like she was failed by a lot of people because her family seems absolutely wackadoo. And the mystery of what exactly happened to Anna Kepner in that cruise ship cabin, it still remains, just like some dark mysteries remain in awe of these TikTok accounts. Thank you so much for watching, folks. It really means the absolute world to me that you're here watching this whole video. I really appreciate it. The next whole video, it'll be up next week, so please give it a go when it's up if you want to. You can also check out the Patreon to get early access ad-free all videos, and there's exclusive videos there. You can check out the podcasts, brand new podcast exclusive episodes on Mondays. You know, give that a go, but sure, you know what? You can do what you want to do. Who am I to tell you how to live your life? But I will tell you, take care of each other until the next one. Because I love you. Mike out.